Hello, everybody. It's notifications because I'm dumb. I always forget some part of it. There we go. Alright. Hello. So yeah, my brain's being dumb today. So, it was being dumb yesterday too. Yesterday it was being dumb because I had a headache and a bit of depresso espresso. Today it's just full on depresso espresso. So, I'm on that depresso express. But that's what grinding is for, right? Just sitting around, mindlessly grinding, just moving things on my desk. I'm probably not going to do roulettes because it's been a while since I played this, but I'll just be sitting here yapping while doing duty support stuff. Because I can. You might wish to stop me, but you can't. Let's see. This is really the highest level one I can do, so... It's a case of, like, yesterday, I was so depresso, I had a shower. When I can't find anything else to do, and I have a shower instead of, Oh, you just start with these now. Neat. Hey. Mr. Marauder. I keep forgetting I have gravity on one. There's my regen, right? Yeah. I don't think I'm going to add my damage to this. Well, I suppose I can. Yeah, well, there's more things angry. So at this point, no harm. I gotta say, the more I've played the Astrologian, the less I understand the point of the Scholar. It just doesn't heal as well. Like, yeah, sure, shielding's a thing, but the fact that not every healer can shield tells you that that shield is ultimately redundant. Hello, Gunner. These ones do again. Right. You go, Tank Man. Oof. It's a lot of work. 4 was my AoE. No. That's the one I'm looking for. It would be so helpful if all the healers in this game had the exact same tools available to them. But they don't. Okay. I can't blame you. And I'm crazy. I would take 50-hour work weeks, but that's because I'm insane. I may as well get an aspected Helios and everybody. I'm sure my older sister's close to that most years. This year, definitely. She, is working tonight, straight into a shift for tomorrow, where she'll get to basically come home, sleep for like 3 hours, and then go right back to work for another like 20-ish hour shift in total. Like, all because they have a visit today. Which I will never understand why head office gives a warning when their visits are happening. Feels like it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Like, yeah, we want to see how you're performing, so we're gonna tell you ahead of time that we're coming. I should really be using Malefic. It'll deal a little more damage. Yeah. Does a tiny bit more. My brain's not doing the feel-good juice tonight, so I apologize if I'm a little less talkative than normal. Alright, I have a DOT, don't I? Somewhere? Yeah, that one. I should probably be using that. Get him, tanky boy. Like, I think the thing I find the funniest when, like, I've made mention of how I feel the Scholar is just not that good is I'll always get hit by, oh, but Eos, which is your little summon heal thing, and it's like, yeah, but Eos's heal is literally worse than just my heal over time. So, like, and it's like, yeah, but you don't have to tell Eos to do anything. It's like, you kind of do, though. You have to manage Eos. You have to tell it to sit still. You have to tell it to keep following you again. Like, it's just aspected Helios. It's good enough. Don't know how that happens, but I'm gonna be honest, and I don't mean any, like... I don't really mean anything towards the US for this, but that sounds like a uniquely United States thing. It probably doesn't just happen there, but it sure sounds like it. Where have you gone? I am stuck. Here we go. The tank ran around the wall. Very helpful tank. It is a good thing I'm decently used to having to deal with bad tanks. So, like... Plus, I'm not dealing with a tank who thinks it can, just run from wall to wall every time. Hello, Andreas. I am definitely not in the mental state tonight for dealing with human tanks. But I wish to level my healer. Wrong button. Honestly, human healers are equally just as much a roll of the dice. Like... Human DPS is fine. As EVE Online... Wrong button. As EVE Online could teach everybody, monkeys can press F1. Like, you know, you don't need to be good at the game in any way to press the same 3 buttons over and over. You know. Yeah, I mean, that's more or less how I tend to go through dungeons playing as tank. Especially my first few times. Because, like, I don't know the dungeon yet. I would like a chance to learn it before I'm even trying to wall, especially in these early dungeons. Watching a few friends play the later content, I get it. Every dungeon past a certain point is the exact same formula every single time. I get it. I'm on free trial. I've started to see that with the end of Stormblood. But before that, dungeons tend to actually have a fair bit more to them. Also, stats don't scale the way that you'd think they would. Like, even at the moment, if I were to hop over to my paladin and drop down into one of the early dungeons, I'll have more defense than an on-gear tank for that dungeon. Which makes wall-to-walling easier for me, virtually impossible for the on-level tank. But it seems like 14 players aren't used to people being on level and using story gear, and, you know, they're used to the max level tanks because there's not that many new players coming to this game. Or if there are, they're like me, and they come in here and they click duty support. Like... Yeah, Paladin at 54 can start taking care of itself. It's around 60 or so that the Paladin doesn't really need the healer anymore. I don't remember the exact level. Hold on. I've updated my gear. Where's the buttons? God, that's not the button I need either. This is the button. So many buttons. 64 is where the Paladin can start taking care of itself completely. Because you need the halved MP costs, otherwise you've got 2 clemencies. And that's often not enough, so... It will forever bother me that I am a paladin with 2 spells. This isn't a paladin. This is a warrior. Which I know is what Marauder turns into, but like that, warriors are the ones that have a couple spells here and there. You know, they're not the full out half tank, half mage, but paladins the couple spells. I actually really like, because I play a lot of MMOs, I really like how the Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis Hunter, how their damage mitigation works. They only have 1. And as you put more points into it, it shortens the duration, but also the cooldown. Every level of it is the same percentage of damage mitigation over a minute. It just lets you fine-tune it to what you want it to be. That's so nice. I do not. I do not have access to Gunbreaker, Sage, Dancer, Reaper, and Viper, and Pictomancer. I believe those are the ones I don't have access to. Yeah, Reaper, Viper, Dancer, Picto, Gun, Sage. Yeah. Sounds right. So that's 7, actually, I think. Work with me, brain. 2, 3. No, it's 6. Soon to be probably 7. Yeah, Dancer... I wanted to go into Stormblood as Dancer, because everything I've heard about that class falls into like, oh, well, it's, you know, it's basically like the RNG class, so I feel like it would be more fun to play, because you don't have a set rotation as much as everyone else does. You have the idea of one that might happen, but it might not. I kind of like that. Especially because that means the Dancer is probably, like... The Dancer, if everything goes perfectly, is probably the highest DPS, because otherwise, like, they'd have to adjust the DPS valves on it so that your average of those coin flips is on par with everyone else, so... Or it just would be a class nobody plays, because it would be definitively weaker. But Dancer is Shadowbringers, so sad day. If I can even... Can't reach. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo the aspect of Helios. I typically main healers, so I'm pretty cool with being the support. And if anyone can figure out my healing, through my healing style, what game I mainly picked up healers from, you deserve a cookie. And I'll double your ISK. If you know that reference, you know the game. Whoops. Well, sorry, tanky boy. I mean, its DPS can't be worse than pre-52 Red Mage. The class that can't even do the story quest to fight Raubon. I spent like an hour on that as Red Mage before giving up, hopping to my Paladin, and curb stomping him. Which has me feeling like the story quests change the HP values of what you're fighting based on what job you are, because Red Mage just could not cut it at 51, just the level I got to the duel with Raubon at, like the big like tournament thing at the beginning of Heaven's Ward. And it just couldn't do it. Meanwhile, my Paladin got through it literally no problem. And that was with saving my largest burst of DPS for the DPS check at the end of the duel with Raubon. Like... That is very fair. I think in the earliest dungeons, healers will probably have the DPS boost just from them getting their AoEs first, but at least in general. I don't know if they actually get it before the Dancer would. Now in general they tend to get most, but the funniest thing is a lot of the time when a healer first gets their AoE, it's just their damage option. Like, it's just better. Like, Scholars like that. Scholar's AoE is just better than its single target. At least for, like, 15, 20-ish levels. I just wish Square would give the bots a few more of their tools. Because, like, it would be really nice to see the NPCs here using their AoEs. That would be really nice. Just mechanically how this game works, no class will ever be exactly what I'm looking for. Because I'm looking for more active gameplay and no set rotation. Like, the easiest way I can describe what I'm looking for is classes more akin to how Phantasy Star Online 2 does it, where, like, your hunter in the base game of PSO2. I'm not counting New Genesis. New Genesis changed the formula around. Still kind of applies, though. But in base PSO2, your hunter job, which is your basic tank, big beefy boy, has access to 3 different weapons, all of which having like 11 to 12 different skills attached to them. So you can pick how you want to play that tank. If you want to go heavy blocking, you run with the sword. If you want to do, you know, parrying, that's what the spear is there for. The wired lance is your DPS option. And you can carry all 3 weapons and swap between them on the fly if you feel like it. There is no set, you know, thing you need to be doing because it's the only thing you can do. You have options, you have choices. Everyone feels that little bit unique. Yeah, and Blue Mage can't do dungeons. So, like, I started down Blue Mage, but it can't do dungeons, so not much point. I can't use it for the story content. I would still need to have something else leveled to do dungeons with, unless I had a group of people willing to follow me around all the time, invite me to parties just to go into dungeons. You know, and that just... that's too much. And I do get why the Blue Mage can't just randomly enter dungeons. It's people would use it for griefing. I get that. Like, the Blue Mage, to explain for you, Gunner, basically, it uses monster skills. It doesn't learn skills on its own. So a level 100 blue mage could potentially know nothing but, like, one spell. Like, I wonder if I can actually see... Yeah, my blue magic skill book. Like, these are all the active actions that my blue mage currently has. Andy there could have a blue mage with completely different skills. Which is why they're not allowed in standard dungeons without pre-made parties. It's because people would go into a dungeon with, like, water cannon and final sting, which I don't even have, but final sting kills you. You know. Now, I feel that Square took the lazy approach to it, where they really could have just simply made certain skills mandatory for whatever role the blue mage is queuing in for. And made some skills, you know, lock you out of queuing if you have them entirely. But that would have taken a lot of extra work, and it's clear they didn't want to do it. So, you know. Like, to me, it feels like Blue Mage was an idea they wanted, but they didn't want to take the effort to properly balance. So... But they still wanted it to be unique. So it just kind of is in this awkward position, and the beast class is probably going to end up the same way. Whoops. Because it's also a class that's going to be learning their skills in much the same way. At least from what I've heard. If it's not, that'll be great for those who can gain access to it. But the problem is, for Square to do anything different, they'd have to fundamentally change how the game works. That's entirely fair. And, like, creature collecting's fun. So, like, if nothing else, it'll be a fun distraction. But, like, to make a class like how Phantasy Star Online 2 does its classes, or even just Blue Mage and Beastmaster work within the foundations of this game, they'd have to change the foundations of the game. Or make them just like everybody else. Which would be lame. Oh, speaking of Pokemon, I am still so hyped for Winds and Waves. I still need to finish ZA. Okay. I mean, that's fair. There's a lot of good ROM hacks. If you like roguelikes, there's a web game called PokeRogue that's basically endless Pokemon battling as a roguelike idea kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. This is the... I recently started a journey through Pokemon Black in Japanese, because I'm learning Japanese, so what better way to do it than play video games, right? I'm totally not a massive video game dork. I picked up a lot of the DS Pokemon games in Japanese because I can't stand the Gen 3 and older games anymore, mechanically. I still love Emerald. Emerald is my favorite game, subjectively. But objectively, it's a bad game. Also, I completely forgot about all the random crap it'd be giving me. Oh, no. Discard. Now, what else did it sack me with? Probably this. They're good games. I mean, every Pokemon game is good. There's no bad Pokemon games. It's just like, once you've gotten used to how the modern games play, going back to Gen 3 and older is kind of hard because they don't... Moves don't work the way you think they would. And for those who may not know this, in Gen 3 and prior, a move being physical or special was tied to the typing, not the move itself. So, basically, Shadow Ball is a physical move in Gen 3 and older. The easy way to keep track of this stuff is it an evolution type? It's special. Is it dragon? It's special. Otherwise, it's physical. And that's evolution. Normal type is physical. Meaning, Hyper Beam is a physical attack. Like, it's so annoying going back to those games and it's like, Gengar! Amazing special attack. You don't want to be using Ghost or Poison on it, because those are both physical types. Does this give me a skill? I forgot to open my extra tab for this stuff. If this doesn't give me a skill, I'm going to put it off. Because that's more or less how I've been progressing through the job stuff. Come on, Final Fantasy Wiki. I'd like to be able to look this up, thank you. Astrologian quests. 52 does not give a skill. 54 does, so I will do them both at that point. I kind of dislike this system where the class quests give skills. I get flavor-wise why it exists, but it's so annoying to go do a quest, have the quest do a thing, and be like, we need to go do this. But quest over? Come back in a few levels. It's like, just let me play the quests. I actually don't even remember what I was doing with the Astrologian stuff, because it's been so long. Astrologian from 30 to 50 was before Scholar entirely, and I had started Samurai, and I think my Dark Knight was still 50 at the time. So, I mean, that's fair, Gunner. I quite enjoy the new games. That's just me. And I'm pretty sure I still don't have any dungeons here yet. Nah, I need one more level. Because I haven't unlocked this. Or no, duty support isn't available yet. I have unlocked it, it's just not available yet. Like, I don't mind the story, the class quests. I just wish I could do them all at once instead of having to stop. Like, that's my whole thing with them. Like, the easiest way to get me to mentally check out of your story is to force me to stop experiencing it to go and grind. Like, I'm gonna mentally check out at that point. That's just a me thing. Like, the way I kind of view it, right or wrong, is that if the developers didn't care enough for all of this to be seamless, then I don't care. I mean, even those old RPGs that everyone goes on about, you having to stop to grind, you really didn't with smart use of items. We just were all idiots back in the day. I mean, I'm fair saying it. I was crap at RPGs when I was younger. And would need to stop and grind to get to higher levels because, yeah, I sucked. Get him, Tanky. 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 I mean, that's entirely fair. That's what easy mode's for. I'll admit, I still have issues with RPGs where I will put items into too good to use clubs. Which is when you have that item that its effect is so good, you always hang on to it for that time that you're gonna need it, and then you never actually end up needing it. When it would have made something earlier in the game so much easier if you had just used it. Like, I do that so frickin' much. Yeah, that'll do it as well. Like, I grew up on RPGs, so... I've actually never played a Persona game. I have, however, thanks to Phantasy Star, fought a boss called Persona, so I can jokingly say I've beaten Persona. I will say, the game is absurdly large these days because of New Genesis, but like, I'd say anybody who primarily plays 14 here for the story should really at least give a watch to the Phantasy Star Online 2 story. It's so freaking good. Well, a big thing with the PSO2 story is, like, it's Phantasy Star, so the stakes are always crazy high. There is never a point where you are not at risk of the universe ending. Which gives it a lot more weight. Yeah, I've never played the Let's Go games myself, but they sure look like a nice place to start. So welcome in, Forest Flora. That is very fair. I am very forgettable. I'm joking. It is also rather funny with, like, being a PSO2 player and playing this and seeing, like, people be like, oh man, the Praetorium is such a long mission, you better be ready. It's like, you haven't seen crap. Day of Resurrection makes that look like a joyous jaunt. Like, it's a brief stroll in comparison. Day of Resurrection takes most people around 2 hours or more. But to be fair, it was also the grand finale of everything being built up before it as the end of episode 2. So it makes sense, but... Well, I gotta say, this right here is probably one of my biggest complaints with healers in this game. This is a boss. Most of the boss's damage is coming from dodgeable damage. I'm literally just a DPS here. Like, my job at this point is just to keep my damage going. I mean, I could be buffing everyone else too. Well, not everyone else, but... I can do that. I put those on the wrong people, but it's fine. I should put those buffs the other way around. But still. Damage buff. Which I wouldn't mind being relegated to DPS in those moments if healers had more than 2 buttons for DPS. Like, my entire hotbar is various flavors of healing. No, I suppose 3 buttons for DPS, because I have my damage over time, my single target, and my AoE. Past that, that's about it. I got heals. Which is very much where I've actually, like... I have proposed this idea to somebody I know who plays this game way too much, and he hated the idea, which tells me it may not be the worst idea. of basically a new class being added that functions a lot like the Phantasy Star Atoll. It is a class that basically it would be a tank class that receives no external healing. But to make everything still work within the 14 context, having the Atoll in your party would give your healer massive damage boosts. Because they're not healing. They would need to be doing something else. Possibly just having the Atoll would give the healers each a separate set of skills that they can suddenly use. Because, like, the complaint this guy's had is like, well, you know, apparently in the more recent content, healers are basically just redundant. They don't need to be there because tanks have so much self-sufficiency that as long as nobody makes a big mistake, there's no reason for them to exist. Like, well, if they gained a lot of healing prowess, well, not healing, damage dealing prowess, that would change that. They'd have a reason to exist. And it would also give reason for potions to exist, because that's how the Atoll heals themselves. The Atoll heals via potions. Hi, Gunner. And was basically added to PSO2 because nobody was interacting with the potions. Like, there wasn't a need to use potions for anybody because techers could just keep everybody alive by casting a heal that would heal your max HP 10 times over. And not like as one big number. No, this was like 10 ticks of your HP in a row. Like, and you didn't even necessarily need a techer for that. You could just have anybody who casts spells could, because of how PSO2 works, could carry Resta, the healing spell. So that hero over there could be casting Resta. So they made the Atoll, which simply cannot be healed by Resta. It recovers 1 HP. The funny thing is, it sounds broken, but it was needed. Like, the tanks needed that level of incoming healing to not die if they made the smallest mistake. Because, like, the gameplay of PSO2 is much more akin to Warframe than a standard tab-targeting MMO. You need to dodge the attacks. You need to be blocking or parrying. If you make a mistake, you're taking a lot of damage. Techers did the best healing, but that's because light is a Techer's element. Techers are light, dark, and wind, with forces being ice, fire, and electric. Force being black mage, Techer being kinda white magey. I say kinda white magey because it's more of a support mage, which would make it closer to like a time mage, but Oh boy, a pair of gloves for me to throw away. I'm past that level of gear game. Please stop giving it to me. I know my white mage isn't there, but I don't think I'm going to raise a white mage. Honestly, of the two healers I've played, Scholar Astrologian, Astrologian's just felt the best. I don't think I'd want to use anything else. Scholar is alright, but boy, can I feel the difference in healing capabilities. Like, I feel more able to heal as my level 52 Astrologian than I do as my level 60 Scholar. And a lot of that just comes down to the fact that I can keep a DOT heal on literally everybody all the time. Meanwhile, the Scholar, you've got Eos, and Eos does heal. It's just nowhere's near as much healing as my two DOTs stacked together. Rude, spitting poison at me. It's very rude. I mean, the Scholar has its shields, but, like, they don't add up to the same amount of extra hit points that the DOT heal is, because a heal over time, or an HOT heal over time, like, healing is a shield. Your HP is a shield, you know. And the fact that that's a tick of 328 every time it ticks, like, that's basically about what they'd be getting from the shield most of the time. Wrong button. And like, Aspected Helios is less healing over time. It's literally half, but together it's a 200 and a 100 potency heal every time the healing ticks. As opposed to Eos, which is like a 90 potency heal every like 2.5 seconds, something like that. 3 seconds, somewhere in that range. Eos ain't quick. Like, yeah, I could probably just passively heal the entire party, basically, through 4 stacks in that fight. Like... Tanky boy. I'll also say I probably don't know how long like I'm gonna stream tonight. Because again, my brain ain't exactly making the good feel-good juices, so... It's not exactly making feel-bad juices, but it ain't making the feel-good ones. You go, tanky boy. Yeah, I may as well explain, because I doubt anyone actually got the reference I was making earlier. The game I learned healing in is EVE Online. Which is why my go-to thing is, tank is taking damage, heal them. You start the heals before they need it. Which also, for anyone who knows EVE Online, just tells them I played Armor Logi all the time, but... Because shield healing, you can try to catch them as they need it, but you shouldn't. Like... Rude. I was happy standing where I was standing. I think one more level and I can go to a different dungeon finally. Yeah, let's get you healed. Don't know what you took all that damage from, but get you healed. brain's now just sitting here like, man, winds and waves. Those are gonna be so freaking fun. Y'all got my brain on Pokemon. Which I'm okay with. I should really do more Poke Rogue at some point. It's a fun game. I also still need to finish Legends ZA. I really need to get around to that. Could I target the central one that I'm clicking on? Be nice. I guess I'm targeted on these. Real astrology and gaming right here. I'm right-handing this biscuit. The only issue I have with the bots in this one is that they eat the Morbol fruit way too early. They should really have programmed the bots to teach the player when to actually eat them. But then they would have had to have given the NPC healer AoE heals. And they seem very opposed to doing that, so... They seem very opposed to the idea of making the NPCs comparable to players. And I feel like that's because Square knows if they did, a lot of the player base would stop playing with each other. Like, I already tend to party with the NPCs most of the time. Because, like, I can trust the NPCs to do exactly what I'm expecting them to do. I can't trust a player to do what's in their best interest. Like, I can't do it. Okay, body piece. think I can move on now. Yep, Solmal. Yeah, like that. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, no, apparently not. But, wait. Item level. Really? Really? How am I... What item level do I need? 105. It's my rings, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, well, let's see. Now those are all lower. That's 130. Well, it's not helping me any, but it would get me the item level I need, probably. Yeah, I'm exactly at 105 now. Game. Game? I'm at 105 now. Let me close that and reopen it. There we go. This is literally a freaking DPS bracelet. Do I have anything? This has mind on it. That's an attribute I want. Yeah. That's got me still at the right level. I hate the item level stuff. Because, like, quite honestly, I'm going to actually stop here. What did I have on before? Mind 20, spell speed 15, doesn't matter. Direct hit 4, determination 21. So, direct hit doesn't matter for healers. So that, in of itself, is pretty redundant. This is actually an improvement over what I was at. But this is less than a 0.1% difference between where I was at and where I'm at now. Leveling and being able to equip the better gear lowered my overall performance more than equipping the better gear pushed me up. I might have some higher stuff here. Yeah, I have a few things. I'm gonna need the item level, so... Let's see... Do I have all of this stuff, possibly? I might. Yep. Cool. 111. Heck yeah. I probably don't have my next orb yet. Nah, my next orb's 54. Okay, before I hop into that, because I just reached the bottom of my cup of coffee, I'm gonna go grab more coffee and do a stretch. And y'all should stretch and sip too. Stay hydrated. Stay stretched. It's good for you. Stretch for your health. That is what Chuck wanted us all to know. Why he would always show up for that stretching class at 7 p.m. in his gear. Julep reference if you... The VODs exist. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alrighty, I return. Oh boy, it's Einstein. Just noticed he's part of this. Thank you. There's probably, yeah.
Focus. Release. Focus. Release.
It was already up.
Away with you.
Seeing a little carbuncle there really reminds me of something that I want. I want so badly to be able to do. I want to be able to throw carbuncle like a softball at something. You just pick him up and huck him. And yes, this is reference to something you can do in PSO2. With the summon Marin. It has a skill called Marin Toss, where you toss it, and it deals absurd potency. Like 10,000 potency per level that Marin has been boosted. So, and it has 3 levels of boosting, Marin being basically your shield summon. So it's basically the summon that you use to block attacks with that you can then yeet back into the enemy's face.
Focus. Release.
I want to be able to do that. This would be funny. And they could make something like that work for the summoner too, by just simply, like, giving the summoner more summons than just Carbuncle. Because the thing with Marin Toss is that after you throw Marin, you can't use it again for a while. Because it needs to recover. You just exploded it on the enemy's face. You just swap to a different summon. It's your boss finisher, basically. Like, that's in general how you use Marin, is as the boss finisher. Whoops.
Know your folly.
Hey, Lilipan! Staring at me. I also quite love my emotes. Wrong button. I just did that again.
Shiva, aid me!
Justinian, thank you, man.
Aid me!
Alpha, no, please don't get eaten. That would be very inconvenient.
Know your folly.
The thing I'm fighting, it's a stinky flower that eats things. I forget what this species of enemy is called, but basically it's same with like that really stinky flower, the corpse flower thing, but
Shiva, aid me!
yeah, there's no way I'm killing these things before they reach it. Yeah, that's fair. It's a Final Fantasy enemy that's been seen before. I just don't remember what they're in general called. I think it would be in here, because if not... No. Real healer gaming right here.
Shiva, aid me!
Yeah, I don't think it says in-game anywhere. That is fair. I have played all of them. Well, all of them except 11. I've not played 11. I kind of wish 11 had a 14-esque free trial to it, so I could give it a try. 8 is not great. It's not bad as far as RPGs go, especially for its day, but it's not great. Personal opinion, neither is 7, but that's an opinion that gets me crucified. I mean, like, I'm not even just saying that. I'm not saying 7 is bad. I'm just saying that it's definitely not the best Final Fantasy game. There are better Final Fantasy games. But this is the internet, so, you know, me saying, there's better games means, oh, you hate 7. It's like, no, I don't even hate 7. I like the game. Can I just say, I kind of hate how the internet is like that, where it's like, if you don't absolutely love something completely all the time, you hate it. It's like, no. Opinions are a lot more nuanced than that. Like... Yeah, like,
Away with you.
it's kind of funny, because, like, Brentalfloss has basically, in a way, a song about that mentality online, with his Ocarina of Time with lyrics, where it's basically him and a buddy having an argument over Ocarina of Time, whether it's good or bad, you know. And the conclusion is basically just, we're all fans of things. Why are we fighting? Like, we both love Zelda. Why are we fighting over this? And it's like, yeah, I kind of wish the internet would begin actually taking that mentality to heart. And I say this as somebody who, I will fully admit, I am a very, like, hypercritical person. And I know some people will see that and be like, you're just hating on things. I am hypercritical of the things I love too. Like, it's not just the things that, I seem to dislike. You know, I spent a good bit earlier in the stream talking about how I basically can't play the older Pokemon games because mechanically I just can't stand pre-physical special split. I just can't do it. It drives me nuts. Drives me even more nuts that it took them that long to make something called Ice Punch a physical attack. Like, it's had punch in its name this whole time, but until Gen 4, Ice Punch was a special attack. Because reasons. Like,
Shiva, aid me.
I am a very critical person, and it's born of wanting things to be better. Things don't get better by blindly praising them. Like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Currently my favorite games in the series. Yeah, they have their issues. The performance issues being, the biggest elephant in the room. I didn't have the biggest issue with them, but I'm not gonna pretend they didn't exist. Ironically, they kind of didn't exist for me until they started trying to fix them, but I was playing Scarlet, and the majority of people played Violet, and it seems like Violet is what had the problems for the most part. So,
For the house of Lebanon.
Oops. Yeah, the story, there's like no... Well, okay, there's one note I have about the story. The gym challenge really should have just scaled levels to how many badges you had. It made the gym challenge feel really weird because I went through that not in the intended route. I went counterclockwise. Literally, I went counterclockwise around the map. Because I could. And it wasn't until I got back around to Iono that I even realized that it wasn't scaling. When I get to Iono and she's got like level, 20, 30s, and I'm fighting her at level 60 something. Like... Like, that's really my only note there.
Your guard is down. Taste my loss.
But I mean, that is, that is something I feel they should have caught. And I'm really hoping if Winds and Waves carries on that same idea of you have a lot more freedom, that with that comes scaling gyms. Like, they don't need to perfectly scale, they just need to, you know, at least try to stay close to your level, based on however many badges you've got. Because, like, there's no way it's going to stay perfectly scaled, but as long as the game just looks at how many badges you have, and then gives the gym leader an appropriate Pokemon layout, that's how the gyms are supposed to be. That's how they're always, quote-unquote, at your level. Like, you know, Brock probably has, like, you know, a Rhydon back there, but you have no badges yet, so he comes at you with his baby Onix and Geodude instead. You know, when you get to Misty, she sees you only have one badge, so she comes at you with her Staryu and a Goldeen, I believe it is. Like, that's lore-wise why the gyms are the way they are. It's the gym leaders giving you a challenge without just curb stomping you because they could. It also is, you know, how people can start their Pokemon journeys in other towns. It's because the gym leaders accommodate them. So, like, it's lore-wise a thing already. So just applying that to the game mechanics should be a no-brainer, really. Especially if you're going to give the players that much freedom again. Because again, like, I did manage the counterclockwise. The only gym I had to go back for was the Psychic Gym. And that was only because I was going counterclockwise, meaning I didn't have access to that town because I hadn't done the Arven quest to get access to that town. I hadn't powered up my bike. That is fair. I'm hoping if they keep it that they give us a few more options. Like, I may have not found every clothing shop yet, but the fact I think there's only one skirt in the entirety of ZA. So, like, if you don't like that skirt, but want a skirt, you're kind of screwed. Like, there's a lot of skirts, where it's the skirt and shorts paired together, but that's not what I was looking for. I've still not finished my first playthrough. I need to. I'll get to it. Soon, TM. Probably tomorrow. Honestly, I might play a bit tonight. Because I don't even know how long I'm going to be streaming tonight. I know I'll potentially be going for a walk through the night, because my older sister, when rushing off to work, because she only got like 2 hours of sleep before rushing back into work, forgot her phone charger. So she's seeing if one of our cousins can stop by on his way to work to pick it up and drop it off to her. And if he can't, I'm just going to take it into her. Because she's going to be there until 4 p.m. today, or 4 p.m. on the 31st. It is 1:33 in the morning right now. She went into work at 10 p.m. on the 30th. It's very much a case of, I love my sister. I kind of hate how she'll do that for that place, because, man, they don't care. Yeah, it's 1:34 here. So, like, my older sister went into work at 10 p.m., which would be 9 p.m. for you, and will be getting off at 3 p.m. tomorrow. She goes back into work at 9 p.m. tomorrow. I mean, the pay is good, but yeah, for calculating to me, just add an hour, because you're on Eastern. Atlantic's 1 hour ahead. Let's go, Tio Man. Ow. Oh, Yuzawa didn't get caught in that. It healed. Actually, there's a lot of Pokemon a lot of people are hoping get Megas. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know all the Pokemon that got Megas yet, because, again, I haven't played through everything yet. But there's also still time they might add stuff. That is very fair. I have yet to encounter a Mega Skarmory, but I know it exists because of the Pokemon trading card game and also just things I've seen online before finishing the game. Because it's kind of hard to avoid that stuff, so. I'm kind of tempted, once I've realized that this works, to just not use Megas past the point I'm at. Because, like, the plus moves are enough. And I figured that out because currently my team doesn't have a Mega on it. Yet I've handled multiple Rogue Megas no problem. It's actually been easier than running with a Mega. Dragon dead. Oh boy, a ring! I would give it crap, but that might actually be useful to me. Yeah, that is. Okay. Between these two, that one's worse, so... Ugh. I would love someone from Square Enix to explain this to me. In what world is 15 determination, 21 piety, and 4 whole direct hit, something the healers don't even use. Since when is that? What is that? 100, it's 20 item levels higher than, like, what? Like, I want to replace this, but heals can critical hit. They cannot direct hit. And I would like to replace the lower item level as well, but this is critical hit. Taking this off lowers my healing capabilities, because while mind does make you heal a bit better, a critical heal is better than a boost in mind. But it is the lower item level, so this is what the game wants me using. So that is what I will be using. And that is fair, Flora. I need to repair my stuff. Ulda, the city of degenerates. In lore. In practice, that's Limsa. I still have to stand, like, this does not feel like a major city. Like, it just doesn't. Like, this is a major city with an arena, and, like, this is the arena entrance. So you would expect, like, people freaking everywhere, but you've got, like, got a guy handing out flyers to one person and gesturing like there's plenty of other people around. You've got, what is this, 5 dudes over here? Another dude down here with a paper, and then here. Like, you get a lot of people down here. Mostly because right in there is the fast travel crystal to get to this place. So you got a lot of people just standing around, because this is effectively the city center. But, like, just doesn't. It's not a bad game. And they have had some Monster Hunter crossovers. I think that's from one that's, I think that's their latest one, so you wouldn't be able to acquire that on the free trial. It's got its flaws. But, like, it's not bad. And yeah, where basically everybody is. Yeah, it's like 80 to 150 gigs, depending on what it downloads. Here be people. Most of which standing around doing absolutely nothing except paying Square Enix money to stand around and do absolutely nothing. Which I don't like. I don't like that people are doing this. Like, because for the most part, I can guarantee you these people are probably in various Discord chats talking with each other while standing around. And some of them are probably using modifications to change how they look and what they're doing, because Gooner's gonna goon. And Square's approach to people modding their game is to wag their fingers at them and go, don't do it. Don't you do it. Bad. Just don't let us see it. Like, it's like, what? Why not take an actual stand against it? That might help, but... I chill over here because my character started in Ulda, so... This is where my Grand Company is. Which is basically an NPC faction guild prototype. You can't actually join player guilds on the free trial, so you've got your Grand Company as a stand-in. And you can freely change Grand Companies, I'm just lazy. I know where this one is. Though Grand Company itself is like level 50 and lower content. Past that, it's worthless to you. Like I've got stuff. They're all level 14, so one would hope that they could do some of these. They kind of can't, but... They will struggle with a level 1 mission. Good. They'll be back in 18 hours. This really feels like a mobile game, this whole bit, but, you know. Do I already have the item level for that? Yeah, I already have the item level for that. And the vault. Good. I'll need more gear before this, though. That's annoying. One more run of this should get me my level to go do my 2 story quests to get an upgraded form of my combat spell so that I can go back to leveling. Because I've already finished basically all of the story content. There's a little bit more I can do, but I'm at a point with the story that everything is good. And if I carry on, I'm going to reach a point where not everything is good anymore. But I'm not going to be able to resolve that, because that's the next expansion being set up, which I don't have access to. Which, like, I will forever stand by, you know, if I'm ever streaming this and people really want to see me play further and are willing to fund it, I will. But I'm not going to fund it on my own. The game has not interested me that much. Which is where I'm like, it's not a bad game. It's worth giving a try on its free trial, but... So, Yazel, you want to help? Yazel? Yazel? She really just could not have cared that I was dying. This is why I do kind of prefer playing through this with a tank. But I'm not... I could level my tank, actually. I could hop to Dark Knight. Which I do remember those class quests, mostly because they have kind of left me face-palming a bit. I'm at the moment... Because some child is basically has stolen my job stone, and instead of just taking it back, I'm playing along with them. I'm showing people visions of people they've lost to give them closure. Like, I don't want to be doing that. That's not something I would do. Like, that's not gonna give them closure. At the very least, it would not give me any closure to have somebody I've lost randomly show up and be like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm going away for a while." Like, I'm not 5, you know? I'm still gonna know that person's gone.
Your guard is down.
And having them come back is just gonna make things worse. Like, Square definitely seems to have difficulty conveying loss and dealing with it. Even though they seem to have no issue trying to steal that sort of storytelling from Sega.
Focus. Release.
Literally, like, the latest expansion for, at least, like, the end kind of bit of the latest expansion for this game is just more or less Retem's storyline from New Genesis. And this is not the first time that I would say that Sega has been ripped off by Square. Like, I don't want to say anything, so I don't want to spoil major story beats for anyone who may not have seen them. But
Focus. Release.
the hidden identity of one of the scions, that doesn't really spoil anything to say that. And the repercussions of such is more or less Melfonrandia from PSO2. Only told a lot less emotionally. A lot more ham-fistedly, like it's talking to a child instead of mature people.
Shiva, aid me.
Which honestly makes the age rating of this game seem even more silly in retrospect. It's like, because of some of the cosmetics in the game and the photo mode, this game is getting rated 17 in Japan because of what people are capable of doing in the photo mode has basically made it get labeled an adult game in Japan. And Square doesn't want to censor anything, so it's not really censoring. It's just telling people to go goon outside the game instead of gooning in it. Like,
Focus. Release.
but like, I don't even want to spoil like the Phantasy Star side of this, just because like I feel like people should experience Melfonrandia. Like, that is an amazing bit of storytelling that I feel I would be wrong of me to ruin by spoiling. I should also even add, like, on my being hypercritical. I have issues with Phantasy Star Online 2's base game, which I hold as one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Heck, the game Tulip is in my top 5 favorite games of all time, and I could probably write an essay on everything wrong with that game. There's a lot wrong with it. Doesn't stop me from loving it, though. It's a great game. If you can get past all of that. You know, everything that's wrong with it. Which, again, is a lot. The game, you know, it's very much a game of its time period, where it fully expects you to be taking notes. If you're not, get writing. You've got to be taking notes the whole time you're playing. You gotta be stopping and handing your card to literally everybody to learn everything you possibly can about all of the above ground NPCs so that you'll figure out how to deal with things. Some of it, the game just does not tell you. It's, you know, you just gotta figure it out. But it's an immensely charming game. That, honestly, as you know, in my opinion, is the best told love story in gaming.
Shiva, aid me!
Like, when it comes to PSO2. I love the freedom that you have in building your character's moveset out to be whatever you more or less want it to be. But there is bad builds. Like, mostly because there's bad skills. Almost the entirety of the offensive wind and light magics are bad. They're not good. They don't hold up to the electric, ice, and dark spells. To the point where, for the most part, unless you're playing a very, like, roleplay techer, you're probably not using light or wind for more than Resta, Anti, and Xanverse. Resta's your healing spell, Anti cures status ailments, Xanverse is a 20% damage boost. Like,
For the house of Leria!
that's more or less your entire reason for using any of them. Is just... you know, those are the ones you use.
Away with you!
The others have such niche uses that they're not even worth considering for those niche uses. Like, there's some of the wind spells where it's like, oh, but they can kind of group enemies together. It's like, well, yeah, they can, but there's also a simple combined electric wind spell that does the same thing, but deals a considerably higher amount of damage to the point where there's no reason to use the just wind spell to do it. And even without that, Gazande in the lightning tree is chain lightning. That chains within a reasonable distance of enemies to the point where you don't need to draw them together. You just need to cast Gazande.
Away with you.
And like Gazande just deals so much damage that any possible benefit from the wind spell drawing them together is outdone by the damage differential.
Taste my lance.
Shiva, aid me!
Hey, there's my level. And like, even when it comes to like the other classes, like Hunter, there's like 11 to 12 skills per weapon, but some of those skills are just kind of bad. If you get good enough at using them, I'm sure they can keep up. Everything works, it's just you'll come to realize that there are best options. Though, at the absolute top end, those best options do actually tend to change around a bit, to the point where, like, my force probably is not going to play like most forces. Well, I know mine doesn't, because I give people panic attacks playing it. Because my force is a force atoll. Basically, Black Mage tank. So I have all of the tanking abilities of the atoll, which is already ridiculous, paired with the force's damage output. Now, I'm not as powerful as, say, a Force Fighter would be, or a Force Phantom. Well, the Force Phantom doesn't actually increase its damage, it just goes faster. It's a DPS increase, but even then it's situational and not on every spell. What's best for a Force Phantom is not going to be what's best for a Force Fighter or Force Techer or, you know, Force Bouncer. But, like, my Force Atoll tanks damage. And it tanks it well.
Away with you.
Often, no, I'd really rather if you didn't die.
Focus. Release.
Shiva, aid me!
So, for my force, the best spells for me actually end up being the the simple combines, where those are not things that most forces use, really. And if I were to actually stop and try, Gizande is still a better damaging spell for me, but I have, you know, myself set up in such a way that I don't need to be using Gizande to get the job done. But like, that is definitely something I could say about PSO2. It could have used more work. It was, well, you know, more work on. It's just the balance between the skills and elements. I was like, it would be nice to be able to say, hey, yeah, this wind spell's great. None of them are outside of Xanverse. And Xanverse is only great because it's a 20% damage boost. Alright. Target the wings. I actually wonder if my Dark Knight has any more skills to gain from class quests. Should check. Man, Choker, that might be better than what I have on. Yeah, it should be better. Well, it's kind of not, but higher item level, which makes it better. Where's my other Firefox? There it is. Dark Knight quests. Not until 70. Which is a bit ironic, given, like, I'm also going to be getting an armor set at 70. I already have level 70 armor for tanks. That is infinitely better than that. I want to hop over to my tank for a bit. I could. my tank wearing a battle bikini because that's just the best armor I have for them at 65. I mean, this armor will carry me through the rest of this. I think I've got... Yeah. What carried my paladin through, so... Admittedly, the paladin does have more self-sufficiency than the Dark Knight. Also, I know that Dark Knight was originally like this and changed. But why aren't I paying HP for my skills? And I know the answer is, well, because when it first released, tanks were killing themselves. Sounds like a skill issue, not a design issue. So why is my dark magic not using, you know, why is it not using my HP like it should be? I'm a Dark Knight. That's what Dark Knights do. They consume their HP to do things. It's the whole point. This is the one that has the mini game in it, doesn't it? Right, that's why I stopped grinding. I didn't feel like doing the frickin' mini game over and over again. Ah, it'll be a nice change of pace. Yeah. Crit on. Oh, I missed one. Guys. Really, guys? Because I missed one, you just couldn't follow me? No, you gotta follow me. Stop not following me. To be fair, a regular party could have easily done the same thing. Okay, have I got them all? Okay, good. Good, all have been gotten. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. Oops, wrong one. It's not really much faster to grab the two groups like this, but... I'm more doing that to more or less just to prove a point. Because, again, this person I talk with a lot is under the impression that you can't do this with the bots. Yeah, you can. Playing the DPS, you can grab two groups as long as you're confident in your ability to run away until aggro is taken from you. Like, the bots can heal through two groups. What the bots can't do is wall to wall, because they stop at the first enemy group. So you need to be able to, you know, make it back to them. And I will also forever stand by. And, you know, people who play this game a lot are free to disagree with me. We're allowed to disagree on things. If the developers truly intended you to wall-to-wall tank, the enemies would just be one big group. But like, with how they have the layouts designed, it very much does feel like these were meant to be regular Final Fantasy game encounters. There it is. That's my highest aggro generator.
Enough! Enough!
Here it comes.
Yeah, I may as well pop this open. Oh man, I already have one of those. Wow. And now we do the mini game. I think this is the mini game anyway. Oh wow, I shouldn't have even bothered. Oh no, it's the next one. That's the mini game. This will actually just be another fight, I think. Or is this mini game? Real tank hours right here.
Enough.
Real one-handed gameplay. Which, like, at that point, I can't really blame people for gooning in this game. I mean, you can play it one-handed pretty easily, depending on your class. So, I mean... Heck, all of them you can play pretty easily one-handed, just with your right hand, or your mouse hand, basically, because... outside of moving around, everything can be done by clicking. I think even moving can be done by clicking. I think there's an option for that. So a lot of that just comes down to the global cooldown, which, gonna be real, I'm not a big fan of.
Take this!
Especially knowing that the global cooldown is almost certainly here just because of the game's tick rate more than anything. Plus, without the global cooldown, spellcasters would run out of mana even faster. There's the minigame. Welcome to the boss you don't actually fight. We did it! I'll give, though, this is a faster mini-boss than most. Just took me a second to remember this one. We did it! You just stand back here. Boss defeated! Which, you know, I'll give. That is a faster boss fight than most. Anything? Nope, those are hands. DPS class I want to do, I can't do yet, so no point having DPS gear. Honestly, I do almost feel like the previous dungeon will probably be faster experience. Just because this one is long. Whoops. Ball. I've been bald. I am now a bald man. Look at that ball. I would open that treasure chest, but it's probably just useless crafting materials. Which is sad to say, because I usually like crafting in games, but like, I have no reason to craft because I can't access the market board. So I have no reason to even entertain the idea of crafting. Should probably read over these again, because I don't remember what they are. Okay, that's single target, the other one's multi-target. Okay. Still also just wild to me dodging the circle and not the animation.
Out of my way.
Like, I'm so used to PSO2 where it's the animation that hurts you, not the circle. To the point where even when there are circles in PSO2, they're just to tell you there's about to be an animation there that you need to avoid. I don't love this tank gameplay. Spin to win. Like, I'm not exactly spinning. Even though my damage output is absolutely pitiful. It's just there to make sure I don't lose aggro more than anything. I do kind of wish I gained dark energy a bit faster when using the 1, 2, 3. Because building back up the dark energy is definitely faster just spamming your AoEs. Because you get 20 through the 1, 2, 3, or 20 through 4, 5. But you have such a lower damage output just doing your 4, 5. And dungeon complete. Let's see. Junk. Junk. That's probably junk. I think it was an earring, right? Yeah. Nah, neither of them's really better than the other. They're both bad. It's slightly higher item level, I guess. Let's see if there it is. Discard this. And breeches, that'd be boots. I wouldn't be doing this if there was a storage system. I'd probably be just storing a lot of this gear, but there isn't a storage system. Well, I mean, there is, but it's locked to paying members only. And really is not much. But yeah, I think I'm actually going to end things off here. My brain's still not really making the feel-good juices, so I'm going to find someone on Twitch to raid, see who I'm following is live. So we got Otters, or we got the Real Hunter. So Otters or Cyberpunk? I'm feeling Otters tonight. Like, love my brother, but I need some Otters. I need some Otters going on in my life. So I'm gonna raid the Marine Mammal Rescue. It's a pretty cool place. It's people raise money for you know, marine mammal stuff. They're pretty cool. If you'd like to join the raid and you're on the YouTube, you can find a link to my Twitch in the description. Otherwise, you know, just hope you have a good night. Hopefully I'll see you back here on Thursday for whatever happened to stream. Because Wednesday is my day off, so I'm not doing anything for April Fools. It's a little sad. I think it's tomorrow I have off. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Well, no. This was Monday stream. I'm doing Tuesday, so yeah, I'll be back tonight. So I'll technically be streaming on the 1st, but it's not a stream for the 1st. My schedule's weird. I'm still getting used to it again. I might take tomorrow off anyway. I don't know yet. I might also just take the next couple days off, my brain being so dumb. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here whenever I'm back streaming next. So, see you then.